Okay, y'all. So I've got some new software, and hopefully, I can remake this video. Because I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you sing like the old school singers? How do we, put the chest voice in the sound and still sing head voice? And like there's a lot of confusion in it. So I wanted to start with someone I think has pretty awesome technique, which was Pavarotti. He ended up being able to sing a lot of songs, a lot of arias and roles that he might not have been able to do if he did not have enough squillo, and he does. So I wanted to show this that this is an interview with Bonning and Sutherland and Horn and Pavarotti about bel canto. Conversa acerca do bel canto. So, and right around 3:12, they start talking. Pavarotti does a demonstration, so I wanted to show that to you first before I started showing you guys opinions of other people.
How to do it? To be a real tenor voice, if you don't cover F sharp, and G, you are not a real tenor. You can be a fantastic singer, but not a real tenor voice. In another way. In another way, you make that thing like that. Okay. You can do it's a good sound, but this white is not elegant.
Yeah, it doesn't. Not elegant, yeah, and it's also like the chest. So like your chest is supposed to be up and your larynx down. So a lot of people think that they should push down with the larynx, but you shouldn't. You should bring your chest up, and as you bring your chest up, I notice when I do this, it relaxes the larynx down. So you don't want pressure from above, like in the back, pushing on the pharynx, pushing down like that. You hear that a lot these days, right? So what Pavarotti is showing you is a white sound, right? But it's forward. We could do more with a white forward sound than we can with a collapse sound. Okay?
If you do that sounds simple. Take probably 10 years to make a sound like that.
Yeah, and it has to do with, how strong are you? Right? And are you practicing properly? And most people aren't, because most people, I don't know, because the voice, it's not like where I can tell you this is the fingering on the clarinet and this is how you're supposed to do it. Because the voice is internal, everybody has different like feelings, and they describe things in different ways. And like people who are like singing the mask, well, no, you should not. A lot of people that sing in the mask, they sing nasal, and whenever you're singing, you should check yourself, because you should never be nasal. But if that helps you, if the idea of singing in a mask helps you, but you're not actually, oh baby, baby, how was I supposed to know? Like Britney Spears, if you're not actually being nasal, okay. If the idea of that, I like with Pavarotti says on the teeth, I think that's a better visualization of it. Forward, like out here. So, like my teacher will tell you, there is soft bones, right? There's soft bones right here that are around the trachea. And you want those to vibrate at all times throughout your whole range. And that's hard to do in terms of balancing everything out and getting strong enough to always have the ringing. He says, don't go away from the ringing. You could always check yourself, even when you're talking. You breathe in and you talk on the breath. So like, you ever seen a balloon, and if you just let the balloon go, it goes all around the room, right? Well, if you take the balloon and you pull the neck, it goes well, that's what we're doing kind of in opera, right? Or even any type of singing. There's only two types of singing, good and bad. Okay, you either have an opera voice or you don't. There's not much you can do to turn yourself into an opera singer if you just don't have enough voice. And that's fine. Then you sing show tunes, you sing pop, stuff like that. And, if you're lucky and you have an opera voice, then you should be able to sing in the chest voice and sing like a pop singer, just like Eileen Farrell does. I mean, you would never know that she's a dramatic soprano when she sings I Got It Bad and That Ain't Good. All right, so let's go on. This is some examples. People today, this is from one of my favorite channels called This Is Opera. And this is Opera Archive. And then there's another one called Old School Singers that I really like. And they go back and forth between modern singers and the old school singers. So this person that they're talking about, Jessie Norman, did she have a big and beautiful voice? The instrument itself, yes. The instrument itself was big and beautiful. Was her uses of the instrument good? Absolutely not. There was no chest voice. That voice should have been so much bigger. So it was too soft grain. It didn't travel as well as it should have. There was no excuse for her voice to not travel. And so also, when we're talking here, we're not talking about someone's gift that God gave them. We are talking about the usage, the technique of the instrument. So don't get your panties in a wad if you love some singer. If I say their technique is not good, this is for the benefit of all of us. We are all learning. In fact, I'm going to do, in the next video I do, hopefully this turns out good, I'm going to do a video and show you how I practice to try to emulate the old school singers. All right, so did she have a big and beautiful voice and sound? Given by God, yes. The technique was not, though. Yeah, it doesn't have core, which is the chest, which is the ringing here, right? The voice goes from here and out to the audience. You shouldn't be giving a concert to yourself in your head, which is what most modern singers are doing. They're like, oh, ah, right? They're not, it's back. It's too far back, and all the sound is like going into their skull. It's not the sound, this, the body, the chest has the air. It goes through the chords, and the sound should go out into the audience unimpeded. That's why I don't like mask singing, right? I don't like the idea of that. Maybe think about having a little bit on the teeth, like forward, out. It should be out. It should not be. You should not be giving us a concert to yourself in your skull. If you miss something as important as what a true head voice is, then you completely missed. You missed the complete thing. That's the reason 99% of modern female operated voices are not good. They miss the main thing. Head voice is a chest voice, but lighter. It's actually, so like, let's see. The larynx is sitting in here, right? And it's hanging from your throat here. And girare, which means like, it does like this. It goes forward, it goes backwards, right? So you're singing along, you're in like a covered chest voice position, which is the chest voice that is open, supported. And then you get around, like for me, it's like B4, C5, right? I need to switch into the head voice. Although I do practice bringing up the belt on purpose because it makes my head voice stronger. So you're going to let the larynx move, and it's going to do it on its own. Like as you do your exercises, like if you look back at my lessons, the more you do your exercises, the more the voice just kind of starts working properly. You start not suffering so much. You start having a lot of breath control. Like I have some amazing breath control when I'm singing in the chest and covered chest and this head voice. So modern head voice use some sort of falsetto. Yeah, these Chinese characters, I can't see through them to read. Head voice, yes. Lighter feminine chest voice, yes. The chest voice should be in all parts of your voice. In terms of a legitimate sound. Maybe not up in that whistle register. You're probably not able to have a legitimate sound. Modern head voice, E4, C5. Yeah, so I don't ever sing head voice on those low notes like that. I only start going towards around A4, B flat 5. When registers are developed, when the voice is balanced, head voice can be used on lower notes if orchestra is not loud and if the music asks for softer singing, but it must be true head voice. Yes, that is very true. This is Voilo Sapete in head voice. Yeah, so like I would... Yeah, that is a head voice. So if I were going to do that in a covered chest voice, Yopiango. She's more like Yopiango. That's more like your head voice down low. Me, because she's saying she's crying and she's Yopiango. she's like crying at her mother about Torito and leaving her, I would go covered chest voice there. That's my thing, down low. I don't see the point in making it pretty. Too pretty, like when you're crying, But there's so much chest in that. Chesty. Yeah, it's not chest. It's a lighter. Yeah, she backed off and she let the larynx, the larynx will move like this. Now I want to hear full chest. Okay, yeah, Germana di Giulio, one of my favorites. So I like the more contralto sounding one. Yeah, because that sounds like she's crying more, right? Like she's miserable. Yeah. And it's not an ugly chest. It's still a supported sound, like Pavarotti was telling you. And Zinka is also a soprano, so she's going to use more head voice than any mezzo or contralto is going to do. So what's wrong? She is collapsed. The chest is not up. The head is forward. So this is what people who are not well trained, their thyroid muscles that are right here in the neck, they brace open the throat. And so when you breathe in and you I brace my lungs and it's almost like a triangle, like from down here this way. Yo piango. This should not be hard for her, right? She has the actual range for this to sing it, in a covered chest voice, but she's collapsed, right? And she's not trained enough to physically collapse like that to show the audience that she's upset, but to still keep like the balloon idea, right? Floating. The voice rides the body. And so she's flat. And it's too far back, right? It's more like yo piango. This is what you hear all the time, and that is wrong. It does not carry. It hurts your voice. You will be flat. Like you have about 5 years singing like that before you're so flat that everyone's wondering why you wobble. Yeah, it's not head voice, it's not mix, and it's not chest. Yes, it is way too far. And that's what everyone teaches these days because it's easier. Okay, you'll go to like a conductor and they'll hear you trying to sing and bring the chest voice up. And instead of being like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, just like Pavarotti said, it takes 10 years. It could take you 10 years to figure this out. Instead of being like, just keep doing what you're doing, keep working on making the sound not white, they will tell you to sing collapsed because then they're like, oh, see how that sounds so smooth and so fluid? And they just wrecked what your teacher's trying to do. That's sad. But it's the reality. Yeah, like falsetto shouldn't be unsupported either. Everything should be too far back. Yeah, and it's first of all, it's bad for the voice. Second of all, it's not effective because I don't believe you're suffering in any way except vocally. Right? Yo piango. Right? Like, show me you mean it. Say it with your chest. Yes, 2 registers, chest and falsetto both need to develop. Head voice is not a register, but more like a form of chest voice. Yeah. It is. You're going to practice. Like, I don't know if you ever see, like, Patti LaBelle sing. You know, they belt so high. And that's great. In fact, you should practice belting, bringing it up as high as you can. But, like, what Pavarotti showed you, bringing the chest up and lowering the larynx. Because when you bring the chest up, you lower the larynx. I actually saw a masterclass with Montserrat Caballé, and she was actually like down here, like where your solar plexus is. She was saying to push in as you go for the high notes. Like, well, my teacher would say, you know, bring the chest up for like those middle range notes. For me, like B4, C5. Start bringing the chest up really high, and then if you need to use your solar plexus to kind of push in, I don't see, if that works for you, do it, okay? I usually just try to, you know, keep raising my, basically I want to put my chest into my jaw, right? And that helps. But if you can belt and you want to practice it. Especially like if you're a soprano, you can't belt at F4, right? A lot of sopranos can't. A lot of mezzos can't, actually. It just depends. I've never had a problem with belting. It's, I don't know, I probably should have known I was like a mezzo because of how low my voice likes to sit and how low I talk. But I spent many years singing dramatic soprano roles and was just killing myself with the tessitura. Because just because you have high notes does not mean you have that tessitura. It doesn't mean that that's your voice, right? People think that anyone who has easy high notes is a soprano, and that's not true. I had easy high notes and easy low notes, and the bulk of my voice is low. But people didn't notice. Nobody noticed it until Valentin, really. All right, enough talking. Too far back. Collapsed, right? Chin down, chest not up. Why are you looking down? So she's going, I still have more chest than she does in there. But it should be more like fra le ténèbres, fra le ténèbres. Right? And that's easy. It's all ringing right here. It's coming straight out and into the audience. Bad posture. So you're a soprano, right? More of a dramatic soprano. So you still need chest voice here. Sola perduta abbandonata. Right? Sol, alone, abandoned. Right? Damned, abandoned, right? Like, you can't show me that unless you have chest voice. I don't believe you. Right? Not only do I not believe you, like, emotionally, I don't believe you musically, and I know you're harming your voice, and you don't have to do that. Oh, mia belta. Oh, mia belta. Oh, mia belta. Difference? Hear it? Oh, mia belta. Oh, mia belta. No, because that's like so far back that you're giving a concert only to yourself. Your chest is not up. Your head is down. You're going to harm your voice, right? You're never going to be on pitch. That's what's happening in all of these singers. And it's not that they don't have good instruments. They do. This is the real shame. They have fantastic instruments, and it's basically like a cheese on a grater. And they're grating their cheese, their voice. And there's no need for it. The voice rides the body. The body is the balloon. Like your neck and your lips are like the head of the balloon. And we're letting it out. So it's really loud and obnoxious, quote unquote. So you don't need a mic. Sola. So like, oi me, son sola. Not oi me, son sola. No, you don't need it. It doesn't need to be back in your head. You're not giving a concert to your own facial bones. This is the other thing. So when you're singing properly, to you, it doesn't seem like there's much voice coming out. It feels like kind of like a dot here on your teeth in the front. And I actually think to myself, oh my God, I'm not singing at all. Nobody's going to hear me. And then I hear it in the recording and it's like, whoa, where is that coming from? And this one is a tragedy because that's Ralshvili with an amazing instrument. Oh, like there is no chest in that sound. It's oh. Why is she singing collapsed? Oh, breaks my heart. I don't think she's even singing anymore. Same thing with her. Granada. I mean, obviously that's not deep enough, right? Like, that was a little more white of a sound. But it's still better than this, because this does not carry. Granada! Pardi! Sparati! Right? Like, there should be chest in this. Chest is what's exciting, right? Yeah, so this part of Visidarte is right in that middle voice where you have a choice, right? More chest, more head. Leontine is another one. Never really developed the chest voice and to bring it up. So the sound is like, it's too soft grained. You know, and there are people with very small voices like Bito Sayao who had that bing in the voice, and that bing, that squealo comes from the chest, from the belt. And then you work around it, like you train yourself to get strong enough to bring the chest up, bring the larynx down, and have more like a column in the sound. This is too much column, not enough chest. Or like some people call it the cross, right? The cross is like the length here and the larynx being down. And then this way, like kind of doing like this to the side, right? Tabernacoli sali. Right? So there's a chest voice lower, head voice higher, right? And chest voice lower, it saves you. Oh my God, like you could sing the heaviest stuff, and if you're singing with chest voice, it's easy. And I'll show you when I do the video. I'll go through Aida, which is, you know, I am Neris. It's a pretty tough role, and it's pretty easy to me now, crazily enough. Yeah, this is what's her name? Galina. Shoot. If you want to hear a great Russian, you want to go hear Vishnevskaya. Listen to her. She has all the squealo in the world. She's not Oi me son sola. Oi me son sola. Right? Oi me. I'm alone. I'm alone in the desert. Ah. You don't need ho. Ah. that carries so much more and is so much less it's that wrecks your voice, because it's really even just demonstrating the bad to you bothers me. And this piece, O mio babino caro, was like the first Puccini piece I learned when I was like 16 or something. And Puccini can be heavy. I would not recommend starting with Puccini. Even if you are a bigger voice, you want to do some Handel and, things like that. Even Verdi. Caro, caro. That's why they have a microphone. Caro. It's so much easier just to sing it in a covered chest. And notice she put the other girl just now, I think, was that in the trap? She put her head down. You don't need to do that if you have the chest.
Hey everyone, I wanted to tell you about one of the...
All right, let's go to another video. I really love this. This is opera. Well, let me pause it. Okay, I'm back. This is one of the tragedies of opera, is Anna Netrebko. I mean, I know she's laughing all the way to the bank, but she's murdering this music and her own vocal cords. So what she's doing, La sconsolata vita. No. La sconsolata vita. And it sounds like I was working harder than her, but I wasn't. I just had my chest up and the sound out. And it's like, it's no harder than talking, except for I have to make sure that I stay up. The chest is up and everything's ringing. And her high note is probably the best of all the notes that she did. And why is that? Well, because for the high note, you kind of need more opening like that. You still need to have the sound in the front, right? And you still need to be up. And at least her posture's not bad here. It's still too far back, and that's because it's too far back everywhere in her voice. So, very fiori. Why is there not more chest in her low? I think that's a G, I believe, that piece starts on. Why is like G4? Why is that doesn't have any chest? She sets herself up wrong. She's like this. Oh. Naughty. Right, it should be forward. Up. And what she's doing is she's putting her head up like this. She kind of has the idea that as she goes up, she needs to get taller. But her chest is collapsed. So chest has to be up, then you lean back to make everything as long as possible. Get as tall as possible inside for higher notes. She's working too hard. She's working in the wrong place. Like in here, working so much, but not here. The work should be on your chest. You should be tired in here. You know, in your chest, in your like intercostal muscles. You shouldn't be sore up here from singing. You're doing something wrong if you are. And this part where she's like, you know, the ultimate bacio, the last kiss. Ultimo bacio, oh il bacio primo, ecco primo. Like, it shouldn't be so hard. And it is. Like, she's struggling, right? She's like cranking. And this is sad because this isn't a bad instrument. This is actually a very nice instrument that was never trained right. I mean, to sing Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, tu sei Macbeth, to sing Macbeth without chest, it's like a crime. It's a freaking felony. Like, Lady Macbeth, like, how can you sound evil without chest voice? Batto! It's just a concert to yourself in your head. Now, she didn't used to. Let's see if they have a better. Yeah. Calling her a dramatic soprano. So, I would say she's probably a soprano. I've heard her live. It was a big, beautiful voice with no squealo almost. But if it had been trained properly, she could have probably sung what she's singing and done a pretty decent job. I mean, I've heard Mirella Freni sing Aida. And she was fighting a good fight, putting the chest voice in everywhere she could, and she got through it, and she did well. She did a damn good job, right? So I don't see why Netrebko couldn't do that too. You know, with the training. She isn't trying to fake a deeper sound. Let's listen to her voice. Yeah, okay. I wanted them to show, like, when she debuted in Ruslan and Ludmila back in the day, it was actually a very nice sound, and it was on its way. See, look at the difference, too, in her posture. Back then, she was trying to stay up. You could tell she was singing more on the teeth. She wasn't giving a concert to herself in the head. See, she didn't... Da, da, da. She didn't hit that with chest, right? So when you don't do that, when you don't have the chest at the bottom, then your higher notes suffer because it's a track. It should be in the same place everywhere, just with more or less space around it. Buka. Right, like even then, right, she didn't have enough chest, but this could have been built on. Like the sound she was making right here could have been further perpetuated into the future, and if she had kept singing and demanding that she's singing out, you know, she wouldn't be in the situation she's in today, where she's got a wobble that is like a trill. For her, I would have made her sing like that Mancini guy from the 1500s said, that if you have a voice that, you know, is all head voice and no chest, that you should make them sing chest voice for years. That's what I would have told Netrebko to do. I would have told Netrebko to go sing a bunch of pop songs and never turn the voice over and do it for like a year. Every day. Just sing pop songs lower than, something like mezzo-soprano range, and I would tell her to sing pop songs until her voice was strong enough down low for us to start working on head voice. She's also being careful with her voice. She's not slamming on everything and landing on everything. That's kind of what she does now. And that's what you're going to hear. Like, in order to deepen and make the voice sound darker, people are like slamming on it. And it's too far back. And it is just, it's bad. Sorry, y'all. Yes, let's listen to the good ones. But see, when you heard that voice initially, you're like, oh, that's a great, like, kind of a high school sound, right? Like, I could work with that. But what they do is they tell you, oh, you overblow it, make it sound like so big and in the like the back of your head, and that just doesn't work. Chest voice. You hear it? She brings it up. See, that's what Nezhrabka could have potentially been that, right? She could have had those low notes, and then everything else would have fallen into place. Because you got to build the foundation of the building first before you build the high rise on top of it. So do you hear? There is a lot of chest in that head voice sound that Eleanor Stieber's doing. And it's also not airy. That's another thing I forgot to mention. So this head voice where it's collapsed, it's airy. There's so much air coming through the chords and it's ruining your chords. But if you hear this, there's not a lot of air. In fact, I had one teacher that told me you should practice singing with a candle in front of your face. And actually I do. Like at church this year, I was singing with the candle in front of my face. As I was singing for the congregation, I was testing myself to see if I was holding back the air enough. And I sang the whole time with the candle in front of my face and didn't blow it out. See that right there? L'imagine sua sopra. That was a great covered chest voice that Eleanor Stieber just did. And she was always considered a lyric soprano. And so she did that with head voice. But you could do that with chest voice too. It just, up high, head voice, down a little bit lower, head voice fatalita, and then when you really mean it fatalita, maybe you use covered chest voice. At least you have the choice, right? Oh! See, she could have, that would have helped her if she would have done a little more chest on Alvaro. Alvaro! She could have done chest on there. Moya! Right? Dying. Right? Moya. Morir. Morir. how clear that is? Ah! Instead of that's what everyone's doing today. It's wrong. Yeah, it's because she's a lyric soprano.
Have you ever entered a site that looked real, but...
Oh, I love Claudia Muzio too. So here is your lyric soprano. I love her. In fact, there's a recording of her with Mario Del Monaco singing, she's Desdemona. And she's, it's the duet. And when she's singing, she's picking the chest voice up at C5, right? She's really amazing. And she's doing what I told you before in this piece, Poveri Fiori. She's, ecco primo, right? Because, you know, l'ultimo bacio. It's the last kiss. So yeah, she had the head voice, and then she brought it down, ding ding ding, to the chest, which is, it's interesting. It sounds good, right? It sounds beautiful. Yeah, and like this person says, he thinks she's a coloratura soprano. Could be. But like I said, we don't know because she was never trained properly, or she stopped being trained properly. I'm not sure which. You know, like, I think it's like they get pressured these days to just go out and sing whatever because they're popular, and not because of it's for their voice. Like I said, she may have, if she were trained properly, she may have developed into, you know, like a lyric coloratura. You know, she may have been able to get away with some of the heavier stuff, just like Mirella Freni did. But because she did not train properly and didn't keep it up, like if you notice, Mirella Freni's repertoire got heavier and heavier as she got older. And it's not because her voice was ruined and she was just throwing her voice in the trash can. It's because she's actually getting better. She actually got stronger. It's interesting. I mean, heck, Patti LaBelle is singing with a belt, and she's, what, 80? I heard her, and she's running circles around Mariah Carey, who's like, what, 30 years younger? This is what, so this person who did This Is Opera is showing you Nellie Melba. It's funny because my voice teacher in high school used to call me Nellie Melba. I don't know. He didn't like me, actually, but so he used to make fun of me all the time. I'm certainly not. Actually, he said, I'll give you some coloratura soprano stuff to sing, but you're not one. He actually gave me a tenor aria to sing, one of the first ones that I ever got to sing. Hear that? Chest voice. Ah! I mean, today they'd probably be telling her she was a dramatic soprano. Hear how she never collapsed? Ah, not oh.
Расскажи мне, нянюшка, расскажи мне, милая, про того, про буку страшного. Как тот бука по лесам бродил, как тот бука в лес детей носил.
Yeah, so I agree with this is opera.
И как дети те кричали, нянюшка, ведь зато их детей-то бука съел. Что видели няню?
Let's see here. All right, so let's watch a real dramatic soprano. This is great. This is Birgit Nilsson singing Brunhilda's immolation scene. This is like a masterclass on singing. Just watch what she does. Watch her. Do you see how she is up in the chest and she leaned back? She's trying to get long for this high note. She's trying to get tall inside. One of my favorite things about Birgit is just, it's bing, 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 bing. It is so clear. There's not a lot of vibrato. It's just, and that's chest voice. Now, she herself would tell you she didn't sing in chest voice. And that's why I said in the beginning, it has to do with like what you're describing and how you're describing what you're doing. And a lot of singers can't describe it. A lot of singers are naturals. Or they figured it out themselves and they don't know how to tell it to other people. That's unfortunate. But Birgit has a lot of chest voice everywhere. See her leaning back? Chest. You notice how you can look at her and see it's on her teeth and that it's not collapsed back in the throat. It's forward. See her? Did you see how she leaned back to get that higher note, that B flat? interesting too. She's standing on her back left foot. One of the reasons why you should stand on your left back foot is everyone is asymmetrical. All human beings are asymmetrical. Our right lung lobe, our right lung is bigger than our left. So, and that doesn't matter whether you're left-handed, right-handed, or whatever. Everyone is asymmetrical. All humans are. So, if you have problems with your breathing, try standing on your left foot. Now, I have terrible problems with my rib cage. I have a terrible neck injury. I broke my neck and my jaw. I have a Chiari malformation. I have a retroflex dens, which is C2 sticking me in the spinal cord. And I have torn ligaments, alar ligaments, transverse ligaments, facet joints. Everything is torn in my neck. And it goes all the way down my chest. My rib cage was torn away from my spine in the back because I had a parachute accident. So I have real problems staying up. I have problems singing. But as you can see, like even someone who's hurt as bad as I am, 100% disabled per the military, even someone like me can improve singing. And it's just because I've been doing it right. So that's what we want to do, right? You want to be so good that you're kind of like George London. I mean, he had a messed up jaw. You could see it was pulling over on the side. He could still manage to sing. And it's because he had good technique. Hear how that sounds easy? Right? Netrebka sounds like, like she's having a hernia. But someone like Birgit, they make it sound easy because they've worked so hard to get so strong and to do it properly that to you, it sounds easy in the audience. And to her, it actually doesn't feel as hard as you think it would feel. Like my teacher told me one time, if you sing in the right Bach and you sing properly, singing is easy. And of course, this is like when I had come to see him and I had nodes on my vocal cords because I had been singing dramatic soprano stuff wrong for years. And, the first thing he looked at me was like, are you sure that you're a soprano? And the second thing he's like, singing should be easy. You shouldn't be frightened every time you go out on stage that you're going to fail. And it's true. Like I keep getting stronger and it does get easier. And you end up too, when you sing in the chest voice, you end up having so much breath control that it's actually kind of wild. All right, so let's talk a little bit about men's voice. This is throaty singing versus dark singing. So, like what Pavarotti was talking about was white singing, right? It's like a belt that's not supported enough. It's not deep enough in terms of the larynx being down and relaxed and the chest meeting it. Okay? Like you bring your sternum up towards your chin. When you do that, it shortens the distance between here and it lets your larynx relax. Yeah, so the first guy, like he tried, but you saw the first thing he did is he went up and then he collapsed when he started the sound. Why collapse? Why do all that work? I don't know if you guys saw that. Why do all that work, get up, and then let down? See, he let all the air out. Come in. Right? Why? Why let it go? And then you're collapsed singing. So, amor ti vieta. Right? The voice should ride the body. He's trying. He's just a little wrong. But like when you're a little wrong and you keep doing it in opera, you keep getting worse. Like, I don't know that he had even opened his mouth that much. Bring the chest up and then decide whether you need that much opening. Hear how the voice is riding the body. you want to listen to someone great, listen to Mario Del Monaco and watch him. There are still, thank God, videos of him actually singing live. So you can watch Birgit, watch Mario. They are fantastic. See, he's collapsed. See how he's collapsed here in the chest? Ah! Ah! Hear the difference? And it's sad because it's not a bad instrument. It's actually a great instrument. It's just a little bit wrong, and then, you know, when you have a little bit wrong and you do it for 20 years, it ends up rough, you know. Head forward. No. It's weird because he goes up with his... He does this and then he collapses before... If you're gonna come up, stay up. Stay up. Stay up and start the sound up. See, and he's not struggling. That's easier. It's like talking to him, right? He's not struggling like the other guy. You could see like the veins are popping in his throat and his face and stuff. Whenever you see that, you see that's someone who's not supporting with the chest properly. Too far back. It sounds like he's singing with a potato in his throat, right? Kaufman giving a concert to himself in his own head. That's why you see microphones everywhere today, because no one is singing out. Corelli, he's gonna show you how it's done, right? Chest voice. Yeah, he just let out all his air. He didn't have to let. He let out his air, but he collapsed. Actually, it's funny. I had a teacher, like once. This is many years ago. I was in my 20s. I started to sing, and he goes, "No," and I didn't even get his sound out. And I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "I just knew it was gonna suck." Because I collapsed before I even said the note, sang the note. Too far back. And the thing that's a trick in your head is you think Corelli is trying so much harder, right? You think he's singing so hard. He's not. Mio d'amore. Like what he's doing, that covered sound, the covered chest. And I also hate the word covered because everybody thinks that means swallowed. It just means, like Pavarotti showed you in the beginning, that you are supporting the voice and that it sounds deep, but deep as in not back in your head. Forward, up posture with the chest. This is another tragedy because this was a beautiful instrument and, you know, he's wobbling too. Muoio disperata. No. Muoio disperata. I can promise you, Corelli is not hoarse after this. But these other people who are singing back in the throat, they're hoarse after they get done singing. See how hard it looks? It looks like he's straining too hard, and he is. The voice is too far back. The chest is not up high enough. And he trained that into his voice. That's amazing. Yeah, and everyone's screaming. Yeah, no chest. Nessun dorma, nessun dorma. Right? You don't need a microphone if you do it right. You know, this guy has a pretty nice instrument. It's just too far back. Once again. Forward, right? Stella. Don't collapse. Guardi la stella. Right? Like, it shouldn't be hard. You're a guy. You should be better than me. That was better. The forward part. Is this Lori Volpe? I think that's who it is. I mean, he's obviously like retired and still sings better than the young guys today. What is he, 50 years older than this other guy? Yeah, so he's a little weak right there, right? Ed Esperanza. It's still forward, more forward than this guy's. And he's, you know, he's older, you know, and probably, you know, isn't singing professionally anymore. He's trying, right? Like, it looks like he's trying to keep it forward. He's still not up, though. See, like, you believe him at in the morning he's going to be victorious. All'alba vincerò. Right? You believe it when they say, like they say at church, say it with your whole chest. He's saying it with his whole chest. No, see, vincerò. Out. Yeah, so I think that's Lauri Volpe. He was just a little, you know, old at that juncture to be holding that. but he has it, right? And the young guy, it's unfortunate because he does have a nice instrument, but it's the difference between Vincha, which is like more of a female sound, right? Like a head voice sound. No. You men, nuh-uh. No head voice for you guys. Covered chest voice the whole time, except for maybe you're singing in the Pearl Fishers, the tenor aria. Oh nuit enchanteresse, ravisse-moi. Like maybe at the end, right? Charmant souvenir. Maybe, like when you're a great singer and you really want to do head voice to do a piano sound at the end of an aria like that, maybe you do it. But otherwise, why would you? No, just covered chest the whole time. In fact, you guys have it easier than girls do because you really don't need the head voice. It's really a no-no. Bassos and baritones, why? You would only ever use it like if you had like a high pianissimi sound that you needed to make, you know? Okay, so now we're gonna use this Old School Singers, which is another channel that I like. And they have this whole series of why do we like old school opera. This is part 6. I just happened to choose this one. Now why is this bad? Because this is voce ingolata, the swallowed voice that I'm talking about this whole time. Ah, oh, ah.
Largo motor dalla città, largo. Presto bottega che la vai già, presto.
Notice he's up the whole time. He does not collapse. And he sounds so masculine. And he's not forcing it. Right? This looks like a walk in the park to him because it is. Because he's working here. He's not working up here like in the neck. And in the
che bel vivere, che bel piacere, che bel piacere per un barbiere di qualità, di qualità. Oh, bravo Figaro, bravo la mismo, bravo.
Hear that? Up, open. The cricothyroid, the thyroidnoid muscles, everything is braced out, right? And the sound is coming out, and the body is strong. It's great. It's pronouncing everything forward too. That's another thing. Compression of the consonants. Fortunatissima. You're not trying to let out a lot of air. And that's the other thing. People are, oh, it's like they're ventriloquizing. I just made up a word. They're performing ventriloquism in the back of their throat trying to pronounce stuff. No. That's another reason why you don't do that French uvular R when you're singing. You don't do stuff in the back of your throat. You're pronouncing up here.
Va tutto la notte e giorno, sempre d'intorno in giro sta, 1000 cuccaglie per un barbiere, vita di nobile non si dà.
Yeah, so this is, I think this is Hampson? Thomas Hampson, maybe? I mean, what is that? Look at his, you see his posture? Head down? Forward and collapse. Not good.
Quando fa tutta la notte e il giorno, sempre d'intorno in giro sta, e mi cuccaglie per un barbiere, vita piena per non si dà.
And is this because he just has such a greater gift? No. He's just using his voice better. They probably all, even the bad singers, have the same type of gift. They just weren't developed properly.
Rasa rifletti, lasci di forti, io mi comando tutto questo. Lasci di forti, rasa rifletti, io mi comando tutto questo.
What on earth? Sorry, guys.
Con la donnetta,
So this is why I say don't do head voice. That's la 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 la. You should have more chest.
col cavaliere, la 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 che bel vivere, che bel piacere, che bel piacere.
And the only reason why he's not wobbling and he's still on pitch singing this way is because he's still young. Right? You got about 5 years singing the huh sound before you start not being able to maintain pitch. I believe this is Robert Merrill. So right there, that's a little bit of a head voice, right? Still has chest in it. So he has options because he's so well trained. So he did nasal, right? Because he's able, he has choices. Right? There's your mask singers, right? But we don't want to be that. You want to be able to do it all. And if you need to do like the nasal sound for fun, you can. See how deep that sounded? Right? His chest was up. His head was not forward. It was a very supported sound. The larynx is low, but the larynx isn't low because of pressure from above like you would hear with Kaufman. The larynx is low because he's up and he drops the jaw and it relaxes on its own. It goes on its own.
Di qualità, di qualità. Tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono. Puttana ragazzi, dove che fanciulle? E quale parrucca? Presta la barba, quale sanguigna? Presto mi chiedono, tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono, tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono. Quale parrucca? Presta la barba, presto mi chiedono. Figaro, 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 e Figaro.
And he's only being heard because of the microphone. That's unfortunate. Because this is not a bad instrument.
Figaro, 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 Figaro.
Figaro, 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 di qualità. Right? Like, you shouldn't have less chest than I do. Right? You should be blowing me out of the water with your strong chest voice. Oime. Right? Like, oime. No. Oime. See, he's not up. Una volta.
bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, fortunatissimo, 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 per verità.
Bad posture. La 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 la. Forward, up. I hope they're gonna show up Apollo Gran Forte at the end. Probably the best largo al factotum I've ever heard in my life. I mean, he's trying, right? He's trying to get up, but it's just because the ship is like an oil tanker going in the wrong direction. It takes a while. It takes a while to turn it around. All right. Now here's one. This is an example I said in the other video that was like so bad nobody could hardly watch it, with the don't use wonder share Filmora to do anything. But this guy, Apollo Granforte, he is strong enough in the chest and is trained enough that he can kind of make some motions like this collapse a little bit for the audience, like in terms of acting, but not actually collapsing his acoustic box here, right? This balloon, the acoustic box that the voice rides on.
Fortunatissimo per verità, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, bravo Figaro, bravo bravissimo, fortunatissimo, fortunatissimo, fortunatissimo per verità. Sono il fantasma della città.
See, he's getting tall in the body, right? And you can tell he speaks all on the teeth. It's not collapsed at all. No, look how long he is in the body. He's not forward. He's leaning back. He gets the chest up and then he leans back to get long in here to make the pipe as long as possible. See, he's great. So that's what we're trying to do. That's how you try to bring in some of this old school singing into yours. And, you know, that's why I put some of my lessons online. I wanted to show you how my teacher is teaching me. And then I will do a video like I promised. Pray for a good neck day for me, because I just don't always feel good. I don't always feel good enough to sing. I had like Wednesday and Thursday this week, I just did not feel good enough. And, you know, I didn't feel coordinated enough with this head injury I've got going on to sing. But I wanna do a video and show you how I practice alone by myself, and to show you guys how I do it. Now, you don't have to do things like I do. You can take ideas from me and ideas from other people. But, you know, there are great, you know, online here, there are great examples of amazing singers. You know, like watch Mario Delmonico do what he does, right? Watch these people who are great. Watch them do what they do. See? Posture. Up. Right? He's bracing. Right, and this is probably the Arena di Verona, and he's not mic'd up. Notice he goes tuta. He doesn't collapse. He's up. Not tuta, tuta. Like, you don't need that unnecessary movement that you would see in modern singers. See the difference between Mario Delmonico and that other modern guy that we saw singing? See the difference in the posture? So practice in front of a mirror if you have a hard time, right? Make sure you're not cheating and doing things wrong.
Per te ho pugnato, per te ho vinto.
I mean, does this sound hard? Like, when you watch him, does it look like he's straining? He's not. I mean, this outfit, this skirt is redunculous, but, you know, you go, Mario. So that was, some people might, you know, because it's a higher note and he was pulling back, you know, some people might sing that in a head voice, but he didn't. Notice, he just kept the line the same. Notice he's up. How I'm telling you, right? You don't have to believe me. Go research. Watch Birgit. Watch Mario. Watch someone who's excellent. Notice he's not collapsing anywhere. He stays up through the whole phrase. Remember how I was saying it's like a triangle, right? So like from your chin down, you know, to like your armpits and across. Bring that chest up and brace out with the lungs. And when you do that, then forma divina. It's easy. Even for someone who's injured bad. And notice he's singing up front. He's enunciating on the mouth, like on the teeth, and he's not letting a lot of air out. But I think he's like the perfect example of, you know, this is the acoustic box here, right? Like a balloon, and this is the neck of the balloon. And there's not, like, the sound is like not collapsed. It's not, oh, it's like teeny tiny to him. To you, it's huge. To him, it's not. This is big, the chest. So, like, that's another thing. You should learn to sing for feeling, not like, some days I practice in my room with all the carpet on purpose so that I'm not over singing and so that I'm not pushing it out of alignment. You know, these people that are singing, they're not pushing. They're not singing in their mind more than like piano, mezzo piano. They're not pushing. And they're, you know, they're Italian. You can understand all of it. See? Up. Right? He got up. And it's deep. It's not white. It's not that white sound like Pavarotti showed you in the beginning. And the reason why it's not white is his chest is up. He's not letting out a lot of air, and that helps bring that larynx down. Or like I told you about Montserrat, she said push in like right here, like with at your solar plexus. Like I said, if that works for you, try it. Yeah, so he's up the whole time. And if he wanted to, he could have brought that down, right? When you get that, I think it's a B flat, but it's all covered chest voice. There was no head voice. So learn as a man, and actually as a female too, learn how to sing that covered chest voice. That way, especially as a woman, you have choices to do chest voice, you have chance to do head voice. And with you guys, you've got to get strong here in the chest, and whether that's just from singing or like back when I used to swim, I would stroke through Wagner phrases, like through the whole phrase. I would stroke through it and not breathe until the end of the phrase in my mind, like singing it in my head as I was swimming. And that can make you very strong too. Like if you're weak, like I had asthma as a kid growing up and had pretty weak lungs, and was actually told by my doctor, here's your inhaler. You got to swim every day and put the inhaler on the side of the pool. If you have an asthma attack, take a whiff of, puff off the inhaler and go back to swimming. And like that's how we were treated in the 80s in terms of if you were sick. And it helped because, I have pretty good lungs, even though that was a weakness of mine. All right, so if you've suffered through watching this, let's hope, I'm praying that this new software I bought is better. I apologize for the last 2 videos I put out. The one I did without headphones, it had a horrible echo. And then the other one I did with the headphones had a horrible like popping noises. And I was just so frustrated. I spent 4 hours yesterday online trying to get Wondershare to figure out why it wasn't working, and I just gave up and deleted theirs, uninstalled it, and bought something new. So let's hope that this works, and that from now on I won't have such terrible technology issues. All right, take care, y'all. Bye.